What I have is my personal knowledge and opinion. Only law is universe. Hey, I'm Shay, and this is Hey Shay. Come talk to me. Now, I wanted to start by talking about how self-love and just nurturing self is the greatest part of growth, and is directly connected to growth, because without self-love and that confidence in self and the determination and true desire to love yourself, you won't grow as much as you would if you cared. Because with caring, it brings a whole different level of growth. You get so much further when you care about yourself and you care about your advancement. If you go through life only wanting to stay in your comfort zone, you'll continue to get comfort zone results. So I want to say that loving yourself, and just talk about how you can actually love yourself, is really what I want to get into. And then the results of loving yourself. So we're going to start with number one, just how a person loves themselves. And it goes beyond self-care in terms of getting up every day to make sure your body is clean within and on the exterior, but truly taking care of yourself through not just meditation, because that was going to be my meditation, but through truly taking time for you, getting to know this part of self and not just this part of self. So take yourself out. Not everyone is able to sit and take themselves on dates. And the reason why I said not able to is because some people aren't there yet. They are not comfortable enough, and it's just not something that they truly desire to do. It makes them feel a certain way, and that's okay. Figure out what works for you. That's the best thing to do. But if you can't take yourself out or be by yourself, if that's not something that's helpful to you, then how about you speak with someone else that will be able to assist you and to see things within yourself. And then when you have those moments of being alone, because we're going to be alone, if you want to work on yourself, you're going to have some alone time. That's just that. But if you need that motivation and you're kind of someone that needs to converse with someone to get a certain level of just comfort and understanding, then do so. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their own way of doing things. But the important part, for sure, the most important part, is that time that you have when no one else is around. Because then you allow yourself to feel and reflect on what it was that you actually may have spoken about with the person that helped you to kind of see things through, or even just was a listening ear for you to vent to. So just taking those moments, if you're a person that like to write, they say writing helps you achieve a lot more, helps you to see a lot more. And I can understand why that's so, because writing is like a physical sense, like it's something you can actually see. And not only something you can see, something you can feel through reading. You have different emotions, especially if you're actually writing it yourself, that's coming out of you, you know what I mean? So it's emotions on paper. So it's a good thing to write things down, to just get things out. If you're not someone that likes to write, take your time. If you like nature, go out to, if you have a beach, go to the beach. If you have just regular nature trails, do a nature trail. Park, go to the park. There's a lot of different ways to Get in tune. Even if you just go sit outside on your porch. This can be difficult for some people depending on where you live, because not every neighborhood is just, oh, I can just go to the park at any time. And there's restrictions in different areas. So for people who do have those circumstances where you're not able to be as free in certain areas of your city, then take a different approach. Just expand, take a different approach. If you can try to get those moments at home, at school, at work, even if it's just on your 30-minute or hour lunch break, take that time and separate yourself from people and just take in those things. If it's somewhere where you have to go back to work, don't overload yourself, because you don't want to allow those emotions to overflow pretty much and become a distraction for you in the workspace. Only because that's taken away from your livelihood in the moment and so forth and so on. So just take different moments for what they are, in little segments, in little sections, when you can and where you can. That will be my first thing. Get to yourself, reflect, and see yourself. Once you see yourself, don't get angry with yourself, because you are you. And that's the purpose. You have to see yourself, to know yourself, to love yourself, to grow. So start there, seeing yourself. And that's just my way of giving you an idea of how you can start to see more of yourself. Now, once you have actually gotten to see who you are, you understand, or if you already do, just understand why you get angry with certain people. Maybe over small things. What are some of the things that trigger you? When someone calls me stupid, that triggers me, because sometimes I do feel stupid, and I don't want you to acknowledge that within me, So it's just an example of people call things out that you don't like about yourself sometimes. And sometimes people might call you something that you don't identify with at all. And you have to think, why does that trigger me if I know that that's not who I am, that's not what I am? So I'm not saying don't hold people accountable, but I'm saying see yourself and know who you are, and understand when you can be triggered, and understand what's worth being triggered over. Some things it's just not worth it. And so that's the thing, getting to know yourself, knowing who you are, what you are, and also knowing what you're not. Because if you don't know what you're not, then you can become that. We are definitely people. We are creatures of, as they say, habit, but we are also creatures of energy. We can gravitate to something and we can become something easily. And if you sit in the thick of something for so long, if you keep hearing it constantly, then you can believe it within yourself, even if it's not true. And you can become that thing. You see this a lot with people who get mixed in with what they call the wrong crowd. You get caught up in a lot of things that you know is not true to yourself, but because of you not knowing who you are, not knowing your true potential, and just not growing in a certain direction in terms of elevating, but you're pretty much going downward. So it's like you're depleting. Not knowing yourself and knowing where you flourish and where you don't. That can be very harmful and cause you to be in situations that you just don't need to be in. Which actually is going to take me on into my next part. We have to be aware of our environment. All of the nouns, people, places, things. You have to be aware excuse me, of self, to know when I'm around this person or when I'm around these kind of people, indulging in these certain things, I get the same results. I'm not growing. It's nothing new. We're doing the same thing every day. For example, I got to a point where it's like I started to see the same things daily. Having barbecues, playing cards, drinking, smoking. It's like it became a normal thing, a routine that you got nothing more out of except for more negative energy. And that's not growing, that's depleting. So you just have to know yourself, see yourself, be able to see yourself for who you are, because I was in it. I was that person that was okay with just sitting around, even if I wasn't playing cards or indulging in certain activities in the moment. I was around it for so long that even when it was not something that was brought to me, I would go to it, you know. I would recreate that space of drinking and smoking and hanging out. I would bring that to other people. Hey, you want to come and do this thing that's redundant? It's the same. Know yourself to know what you gravitate to, what you have become one with. Because a lot of times we merge with things that we do not need to merge with. That's just that. Now, so that's environment and the people that you're around. Because sometimes you have people who intentionally, they see your potential. They see how much you can grow and how much you can expand and how big you can really be. But they want to minimize that. They don't want you to be there. But most importantly, you are the one that needs to want that. Because again, when you love yourself, it's directly connected to your growth. Directly. When you love yourself, you're going to desire more. And when I say more, it's not just more of what you're already getting. You're going to want to switch it up. Instead of drinking, smoking, playing cards, barbecuing, how about this? How about we put this barbecue and beer money together and we're going to trip out of town. We're always doing this at the same place every weekend, doing the same thing, same results. People argue, get upset, get too intoxicated, people throwing up. It's just drama. Drama is the same thing. So how about we take this money and we go somewhere else? Let's go out of town, you know? Instead of drinking, barbecuing, how about we go out to eat and go bowling? You know, it's just switching up the tempo and just putting people in different environments with different energy, different atmospheres to give you just a better feel, you know. Now, please don't get that twisted at all, because certain people you just can't take everywhere. That's just the truth. Because no matter where they are, they're going to bring the same energy. But people who can adapt to their different surroundings, not become a chameleon where they're not themselves, but truly they can experience more, they can appreciate more, they can settle, relax, join in on the real fun. You know, they can just honestly and authentically just appreciate something different and grow within that experience to now maybe tell their friends, hey, instead of let's, just getting drunk and sitting around here, how about we go out of town? Let's do these different other activities. And when you're occupying yourself with doing more activities or being more active, you don't have as much time to pull up, to tilt bottles up, because you do other things. So that's the purpose. It's the point, to grow. And when you learn that once you shift your energy to something else, or to something that will lessen time over here or allow you to have more time over here, those are the things that create better habits. Those are the things that create better outcomes. Those are the things that create overall better experience for yourself. growing in something new. So people, places, understanding that you can't take everybody with you. They tell you when you kind of rise to different levels, some people still gonna be down there. Very true. Sometimes in order to go up here, you have to let them go. It's not because they may not be growing at all. They may be growing but in a different direction. They may be not growing at all and they're in the same space. So not everyone that you walk away from is just worthless, or they ain't doing nothing with their life. They over there, they full of drama. Not everyone is like that, because you can walk away from some good people. Trust me, you can walk away from some good people that have great intentions, but it's just not meant, and it's just not the same direction, you know. That's just what it is. But be aware of your family, your friends, because those are the people that most times are closer to you. Even co-workers, because some people don't deal with their family much. Some people don't deal with friends or don't really have many friends. So whomever it is that you're around, even social media, let's talk about it. The people that you follow on social media, the people that you have consistent connections with, no matter if that's in person or over the internet. Because energy is very strong. You can have people that's so many miles away from you. You all think about each other. What you do? Hey, I was just thinking about you. Dang, that's crazy. I was thinking about you too. That's the connection that we have. It does not matter how many miles away. It doesn't. So you have to understand that that connection to those people that you're seeing and consuming on the day today, how are they affecting you? Are you listening to music from different artists who are depressing you? Are you listening to music from different artists that are influencing you to be so sexual? I just want to know, really, like, do people understand the impact of, like, music? Do you not know that music was meant to change your mood? That was the purpose of music. It's not really just something to listen to and just, yeah, that's it. No. The energy within music is heavy. Do you not understand that it's music theory? The intent is to inflict or spark a certain emotion within you. So be aware of what it is that you consume, in many different ways. That is a way of self-love too, because if you know that you absorb a lot of things and you're listening to this rapper talking about doing the utmost, the upgross, and you listening to this rapper talking about doing this, moving like that, pulling out this over small stuff, and you're listening to that type of music consistently, you absorb. You do. So again, the people who you're connected with daily. So the people, places, and things that you do, those are direct connection to your self-love. How much are you loving yourself is the question that I have. And how much do you know yourself? How well do you know yourself? How much about yourself do you know? How in depth is it? And are you truly taking time for yourself so that you can see all of these things, readjust, realign, remove, replace, so that you can grow? So that's pretty much all I want to say really don't have anything else to say, really. I do want to let you know, though, it's not always easy. And you've heard this before. It's a lot of things you've heard before, but you're here today because maybe this is something else you need to hear again, because now you're ready to make those changes, to take that time to see yourself, to love yourself, to remove things, whether it's habits of how quick your anger, how quick you are to become angry, how easily triggered you are, how that person that you continue to hang around that you know just don't want better for themselves, and every time you get around them, you are drowsy, you are drained, you don't want to do much. And maybe you two, your energies just don't mix, Sometimes, and that's funny, because I was watching, what was that, Hancock last night. If you've seen the movie Hancock with Will Smith, you know that him and his wife, the closer they were to each other, though they were soulmates and meant to be, and had that direct connection and was one of a kind, the closer that they got to each other, the more that they were around each other, they lost their power. How crazy is that? Do you not understand that you can be around your parents, your siblings, people that you've known all your life, and parts of them are helping to flatten you, and sometimes you have to take those moments that you can to remove yourself, to expand, to grow. Sometimes you have to remove yourself completely, whether that's in terms of in their space, or whether that's mentally, no matter emotionally, no matter what it is. So think about that. Think about that. Don't be drained. Again, self-love is directly connected to growth. It is. So love yourself enough to make the changes, to do what you need to do, to see yourself, to love yourself, no matter what you see in yourself. And know that this is a process. And every day you are working to not go backwards and to continue forward. I'm going to say this again. Every day, there's not going to be a moment in your life where you're going to be able to stop growing, stop going forward. Because you're either going to be here, maybe reflecting, so a little action, or you're going to be here, going forward, idle for a second, to just take it in, see where you need to go next, and keep pushing forward. So, every day, work on yourself, love yourself, take out time for yourself, and you'll continue to grow. I'm done.